Listen, only the Giants could have a guy throw for 402 yards and barely crack 20 points.
Right.
But, it doesn't matter. They got the win. The kid plays hard. He does. And it's tantalizingly annoying of how, with an arm like his and the speed he has, how they can't put it together. Part of it you have to blame on play calling. Part of it you have to blame on the fact that he's just not thinking through everything he's doing. But last week he put it together.
And, our defense doesn't know how to tackle. I mean, Taysom Hill, just bounced off those guys like he was rolled up in rubber and tackled. 4 guys missed him. 4 guys hit him, and nobody took him down.
No, it's like watching the Chiefs tackle. They can't tackle either.
Unacceptable.
It was poor.
Very poor.
It was just poor. But the Giants found a way. They opposite. We'll talk about the Jets later. But the Giants actually came back, tied it up, got the kick in overtime, went down the field and won their game.
Yeah,
they flat out. They were down a touchdown, came storming back. Got in. Saquon had his best game since his return, and looked like the back, like he's not worried about his knee for the first time since he's been back.
The 52-yard touchdown.
But I mean, just some of the cuts he's making, and even the runs. He's running hard. He's running between the tackles. It doesn't seem like he's favoring. He looked really good. And the things that we were worried about, and we talked about being worried about Saquon at the beginning of the year, seem like not to be worried about because he's just going to be that guy.
Yeah, and then when you look at the receivers, they no Slayton, no Shepard, but David Ross
and Galladay played well.
Galladay. Hey, it's amazing what happens when you pass to Galladay. The guy who just paid millions of dollars, right?
You can't teach height. You can teach everything else,
but height.
You can't teach height.
And you know what? We shit on him and stuff. Kadarius Toney, okay, whatever his name is, he played very well.
Kadarius,
whatever.
Listen, if you're going to screw up names like this, I'm leaving.
I don't care. Okay, Tony.
I'm walking out.
Yeah, good. So, I mean, he played very, very well. And more than anything, the catch, the yards after the catch.
No, absolutely.
Which the Giants have not been doing.
It's good speed. I mean, the thing is that Ingram, again, he caught 5 balls for 27 yards.
Yeah.
He's got to be a difference maker, and he's just not.
Dropped one on the one he dropped was a key first down.
Yeah, exactly. It's Evan Ingram. It's just who he is. Yeah. It's just hard to stick with him. Shepard you like, but if you're sitting there with Galladay and Shepard as go-to guys, along with Saquon and Jones, who can throw the ball. I mean, Danny Dimes is a legit nickname. He's got a good arm.
Yeah. You can't dink and dunk. You have to try some deep plays.
You got to do it, and the O-line, and Thomas has been playing better at left tackle.
Yeah, he was limping this week, though.
I know. He's banged up. Hopefully he plays because he's been the second best left tackle in the league the last 3 weeks, statistically. I'm just going by numbers. Amount of pressures allowed and stuff like that. After starting off brutally, he's really stepped it up.
The second best who's visited Arkansas at least 3 or 4 times on a Tuesday and had a Subway hero.
Statistically second best, asshole. Asshole.
Which I'm good at, by the way.
No doubt about it.
Big win by the Giants. It was good. But, we told you the same thing. New Orleans, don't play anybody in offense, but Kamara, same thing happened.
The thing is with New Orleans is that you can't trust Jameis, really. Yeah. And, Michael Thomas will be back in week 6, most likely. And then then New Orleans becomes a multi-dimensional team.
Right.
The tight end position hasn't worked out. They were missing their left tackle, which hurt Armstead, which really hurt them in the game because you feel like Kamara gets a few extra yards and a little bit more time for Jameis and stuff like that. But New Orleans has been an enigma in the fact that they've been great on the road and they've struggled at home.
You still look at the games and stuff like that with the quarterbacks. Normally, if you get 25 points from your quarterback, you're happy. That's a good game. I'm looking at this. Let's see. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The top 15 quarterbacks, 25 points. So so 44. Patrick Mahomes got 44 fan points in our league. 25-02. Josh Allen, he was 15th. So the quarterbacks carried a lot of guys this week.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I drafted Mahomes as high as I do, because even a bad game from Mahomes is going to be a 30.
Right.
So I don't have to worry about that game because Andy Reid's going to throw. Mm-hmm. I mean, just you look at the coach. Reid's going to throw that 1-yard shovel pass more than any coach in the league.
Right.
He'll give his quarterback the extra stats. He'll do something that he learned in Wyoming watching 6-on-6 football,
right.
And they'll go crazy. And that's where the quarterback position kind of stands out.
And since we're talking about the quarterbacks, number 16 is your guy, Mr. Zach Wilson.
Here's what Zach had a chance to put that game away several times and didn't.
Right.
But you know what? He didn't. It was his best game he's played too.
Oh, some of those throws, it's like a 40-yard pass on the run.
Yeah, he's got a great arm.
Yeah.
The thing is that he also had a chance to put the game away in overtime, and he bounced it to the tight end.
Yeah.
I mean, just trying to loft it, just chuck it. He threw a perfect pass to Keelan Cole on an out, like just a lollipop that was
right.
perfectly thrown, and great footwork by Cole as well. The Jets, opposite of the Giants, they had the lead most of the game. They committed a pass interference on 4th and 10, which wasn't interference.
Right.
I mean, he got there early. And then the Titans came down the field and tied it up. Then the Jets came and they got down to the 5, and then they had to settle for the field goal in overtime.
Yeah.
And they had to wait out and watch Bullock miss, which thank God he did.
Yep.
So the Jets did the opposite of the Giants. Giants stormed back. The Jets allowed the Titans back in.
Gave him a chance.
But you know what? The Jet deep was great.
Seven sacks.
They crushed it. Both brothers, Quinnen and Quincy, both got him. Quincy Williams was amazing. He's the best game he's played as a pro. Quinnen Williams is already really good.
Yeah.
Franklin Myers got hurt. Otherwise, I think that they don't even get down the field in the end because he was dominating at left defensive end. He was dominant. They played great.
Oh, congratulations. Great job by May. Little DWI action this week.
He's already out for 3 weeks.
Leaving after the scene.
Now we're wondering why did the Jets not sign him to the long-term deal? Maybe because they knew about this.
Because he's not a great person.
Because perhaps he's he's breaking the law a decent amount.
Breaking the law.
The defense is playing great. Salah's got them playing well. Wilson had really good moments. Now he's got to learn how to finish a little bit better. But overall, for the Jets, it was really impressive. Were there any other games that you watched last week that stood out to you as something that
you know what
you enjoyed?
And it's one of those things when I'm kind of like looking about who's available and stuff like that. Matt Ryan, he's not going to win a lot of games. This team's awful, but he puts up fantasy points. 39. He's going up against the Jets this week. That's going to be interesting to see how good the Jets defense really is. But Calvin Ridley's not playing.
That's the thing. I mean, he doesn't have Gage or Ridley most likely, right? So he's playing with his third receiver going forward, which means that they're going to rely probably much heavier on the running game.
Yeah.
So Mike Davis fans like me are going to hope that Mike Davis gets the ball. Now, running against the Jets not easy.
No.
But Henry had 160 yards last week,
right?
And for the most part, the Jets had him bottled up. It was the weirdest 160 you ever see.
Yeah.
Broke about 2 or 3 for about 15, 17 yards.
When I saw his final numbers, I was like, really?
Because it didn't look like it.
No, not at all.
Because Mosley and Quincy Williams were hitting him in the hole immediately. Bill just shrunk. It's very exciting. Not the tallest guy to start, but wow, did he just shrink.
You got to be careful when you hit him in the hole.
Absolutely. Hit him in the hole.
You got to be gentle.
Class act. But it was that's going to be an interesting game. That's the London game,
right?
For all you folks that are going to wake up at 9:30 to watch football.
Yeah,
the Jets and the Falcons.
And Taylor Henke played, fantasy points.
Heineke was good.
Points, yeah.
I mean, the thing is, McLaurin has become one of the top 5-6 receivers in the league right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he made an amazing catch. The Atlanta-Washington game was really entertaining, actually.
Right.
Cordero Patterson made a couple of big plays. He scored a couple of touchdowns. A lot of good things happening in that game. Ridley was really good. It's going to be interesting to see. Falcons D is not great. Jets O is not great. Falcons don't have their wide receivers. I think the Jets actually could go 2-3, which would be quite impressive.
In my knockout pool, I'm taking the Jets.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Pretty much. Last week, we only have like 10 guys. It's a family thing. 10 guys were in the knockout pool. 7 got knocked out because they picked Atlanta and Tennessee.
Well, I could see Tennessee, but the Atlanta one surprises me.
Yeah.
Why would you be so confident?
I'm sorry. The Saints.
Oh, New Orleans. Yeah, because they picked against the Jets and the Giants, which makes sense.
Yeah.
The Giants have a tougher one this week. Giants play the Cowboys.
100%. 100%.
And you know what? Again, you like the skill guys and all around. I don't think the Giants will stop Dallas. I don't think Dallas will stop the Giants.
I tell you, but they're going a lot more to Ezekiel Elliott. Everybody's all over Tony Pollard, and his numbers have not been the same.
Zeke had a really, really good game last week. I think the Giants will do a little bit better job against the run. than Carolina did, be honest with you. Even the Jets actually had a decent running game against Carolina. Not great. The Jets O-line for the run is brutal. But I think that the Giants and will do a little bit of a better job. I think their front four is a little bit better than what Carolina.
So let's take a look at the running backs then
let's do it
for coming from last week. All the top guys had good games. Eckler had a good game. Saquon had a good game. Derrick Henry had a good game. Jonathan Taylor actually got in the end zone. That was a nice. Nice
Dolphins have. Everybody's talking about Flores being that Belichick tree. That Belichick tree has produced squat.
But Cordell Patterson.
Cordero.
That's how you said.
Yeah, stop mumbling. He's going to throw something at me.
Never drink before a podcast. It's wrong.
Yep, Cordero Patterson.
36.6 points.
He was a
most
monster.
Points.
Yeah, he catches the ball out of the backfield. He's a former wide receiver that they put in running backs.
And most of his points, he had 34 yards on the ground, but 82 yards catching the ball.
Yeah, and he scored a couple scores. Three touchdowns. He was really the go-to guy.
Now, if you wanted to look here to see who the dark horse is that maybe you didn't expect.
Moss.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire had a decent game,
yep.
22.4. Not that that's great, but that's
good.
Decent. Here's something that's really incredible. The Chase Edmonds, James Conner thing going on in Arizona.
Well, Chase Edmonds gets all the carries and all the yards.
And
he
does all the work.
Touchdowns.
Yeah. Which is
what we said to you last week, is that Connor's the guy they're going to in the goal line. He runs harder.
Right.
Chase is little.
Yep.
He's going to catch the ball more. Point-wise, they're going to be close to even almost every week.
Right.
But most weeks, if Connor gets in the end zone, he's going to be the better guy.
Yep. A lot of people.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. Kenneth Gainwell. What happened to Miles Sanders? He's like non-existent.
Yeah, I mean, it's stunning how Gainwell was a guy that they were excited that they made the team.
Right.
And now he's like becoming a go-to fabric on this team. We used to hear about Boston Scott a lot.
Right.
You don't even see him.
No.
Boston Scott's not even a factor anymore.
No. 3 for 31 on the ground and a touchdown, which is not that big of a deal. Ooh, I'm bleeding. Look at that. Not from the groinal area, though. It's not that time of month. And then he was 6 catches for 58 yards.
Yeah, they were dumping off to him. They were behind. And that's what you got to remember. These are the teams that, are going to dump to those, third down scat backs.
Right.
That they're going to get you added points, especially when you're going up against a team that you're going to lose to.
Yeah.
So they were going up against the Chiefs. They're down. They just keep dumping off screens to Gainwell, and it works out.
But the big question is, what are these guys going to do for you going forward?
I mean, listen, these are guys that you have to look at for your bye weeks.
Right.
Here's the thing to note. Okay, we're coming up on week 5. Nobody's off this week. Week 6, 4 teams are off, okay? You have Atlanta and the Jets because if you play in London, you get the next week off. Right. It's just the way it works.
So I have to get another defense.
New Orleans and San Francisco are the other 2 teams, okay? Now, that means Kamara. That means, San Francisco.
You don't know. Is it going to be Trey Lance or is Garoppolo going to be
Lance
back?
is supposed to play this week, I'm told. I mean, if Garoppolo played, I really liked him against Arizona this week.
Right.
And I know nobody else would have, but I did. I thought that game would be close. With Lance, I'm not sure. But when you look at, the running back, Trey Sermon, stuff like that, you look at Atlanta, talking about Matt Ryan before, Calvin Ridley, if he's healthy, guys that would play. Cordero Patterson's a guy you have to have in there.
Right.
For the Jets, I don't know if there's anybody that's really a go-to guy on offense. I mean, you might like Corey Davis just because he's that guy. You might like Michael Carter. You might. Depends on where your running game is. But you have to look at your week 6 buys and pick them up now.
Yeah.
Don't get yourself into the competition next week. If you can get somebody cheap now, because the waiver part is over now. So if you have to bid, you don't have to bid anymore. Right now, you can just drop someone that's not going to play for you this week or next. Pick up that guy. He's just a free agent. It's not going to cost you anything. You stash him away for next week, and you're not sitting there racing and having to overbid and use up your entire spend on that.
Ironically, the top 25 running backs, with the exception of, let me see, just from last week, Jeremy McNichols, who just kind of spelled and basically caught the ball out of the backfield for Tennessee.
Basically what they do.
Maybe he's the guy you want to pick up or whatever. Everybody else is taken in our league.
And Kenyon Drake is probably the best free agent out there in our league, which is kind of.
But he's not going to carry the ball.
He's not going to get it much, but unless Jacobs gets hurt because Barber's now hurt.
Right.
So now he becomes the second guy.
Damian Williams, who's going to be filling in this week.
I went to get him, and somebody bid $46 on him.
What the?
I know. I bid 20 and I couldn't get him. So
I think I bet 10.
I put 20 out there. Now I'm forced to try to get Kenyon Drake. That's how bad my life is. I'm 3-1. I have the second most points. I'm about 15 points behind the leader, and yet I don't have a running game.
Right.
It's freaking awful. I'm riding the Mahomes wave with Cooper Kupp and Stephon Diggs.
All the way.
That's all I got.
All the way.
And Chase Claypool. That's my little unit. And the Buffalo defense.
There you go. Now look,
which I can't play this week against the Chiefs.
That's right.
But can I play San Francisco against Arizona? Those are my two defenses. I'm screwed. I'll probably play San Francisco because out of
your two choices.
The two, I'll play San Francisco. But it's really, really close.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think everybody was shocked with how well the Cardinals played last week.
They really dominated the Rams. They really dominated them. And Kupp did not have a big day. Stafford did not have a big day.
Woods didn't
and
have a big
Kyler
day.
Murray did.
Yeah.
Basically, what it tells you in these games is that, number one, when a team's coming off that big